Hi there, this is Tommy. I've had a few friends ask me about my upcoming purchase of half a cow, and I decided to go ahead and chronicle the unboxing. I don't know much about the whole process. I just know I've got a 7-year-old son who is recently taking a liking to all forms of beef, and I'm a pretty big fan myself, so I'm excited to have somebody to share it with. And I'm going to take the half a cow that I purchased from Texas Beef Traders out in Lakeway and show you what I've got. Cost about $2,500. Your mileage will vary. It depends on the size of the cow that you buy half of. I liked Texas Beef Traders. I chose them mainly because they're just a 20-minute drive. I didn't have to pay for any shipping. I was able to just drive over and grab it all myself. And it is less expensive than some of the more, I'll say, extravagant choices. If you want to go with grass-fed, if you want to have a few other priorities checked off, then you can pay more per pound. I just wanted to get started, and they were willing to have me acquire my half a cow within a couple weeks, whereas some of the other places that I went to, I was going to be waiting 3 months. I really wanted to see what this was like, so I went ahead and dove in. They took a lot of the less quality meat and ground it for me. You can choose to have more roasts if you'd like. We like our occasional roast, but I have a daughter that adores taco meat, and I could probably turn all this into taco meat in a month and a half and be done with it. They give you the choice of giving you bigger packs. I find that it's convenient for me to have just 1 pound packs, and I say take all the taco meat, spaghetti meat, all the rest of the ground beef reasons that we have for being, turn that into 1 pound bags. So feel free, pay the same price if you go with larger bags, but 1 pound bags suit my needs. And I think I've got more than this of them. Opening the heavier of these boxes first. I was told when I bought the beef from Texas Beef Traders, there's a gentleman named Woody who was very helpful, very knowledgeable, and very patient in teaching me what I didn't know. And he told me, you're gonna be surprised at how much ground beef you've got. Having been warned, not surprised. I'm actually looking forward to my daughter actually having enough tacos to eat for the next couple of months to satisfy her. I think I'm finished with the ground beef. What I have now looks like some ribs. I personally am not a big rib guy. I don't like the effort that it takes to get the meat off the rib. I've always liked my boneless options. There's a chuck roast. Again, we do eat our occasional roasts. Actually, the kids don't eat my roasts. One of my favorite things to make, frankly, but haven't passed on that gene. Maybe it skips a generation. So chuck roast is all coming out there. Got a round roast. I've got a brisket. I don't have a smoker, and so I asked them to go ahead and chop my brisket down, give me a few options for cooking the brisket. If you want yourself a big brisket, they will be happy to accommodate you. There's another round steak. There are a couple of shank steaks, and that gets us to the bottom of this box. 3 boxes left. 2 of them are actually pretty light. My guess is that maybe some of the more quality cuts of meat. The next box actually has more ground beef, in case I wanted more ground beef. I've got that to look forward to. 2 more boxes, again being the lighter of the 6 that I've got. I don't know the weight, by the way, of the meat that I got. This is actually all ground beef as well. So 4 of my 6 boxes were just containing ground beef. I'm not worried. Of the meat that I've bought over the past few years, that probably is a lower ratio of ground beef to steaks than I've ever indulged in. Usually I would get a steak for myself maybe once every 6 or 8 months. And now I will be able to indulge in a more frequent extravagance. This is ribeye. You got a ribeye, you got a ribeye, you got a ribeye, you got a ribeye. They are willing to cut it into whatever thickness you'd like. I asked for 1.5 inches thick. And if you like them thinner or thicker, they are able to accommodate you at no extra cost. I've got some New York strips. If you want to have T-bones, you're welcome to leave the strip. on the bone on one side and the fillet on the other, I chose to go ahead and break it down because my 7-year-old loves his steak, but he doesn't eat that much in one sitting necessarily. So several New York strips, and then some fillets for good measure. Looks like these are the fillets here to go along with 4 or 5 of those New York strips. More filet here, and then a shank steak. Looks like the coup de grace there. 1 shank steak to make available. So I have this 5-foot tall freezer. I don't know the cubic feet of the freezer that I'm going to put it into, but it does look like it's going to fit well. I've got 3 boxes still of ground beef along with the one that I set out. So I just have to open the freezer. It's totally empty right now. I'll take a screenshot of it and show it at the end of the video to see what it looks like once it's all been packed away. Hopefully I'll be able to keep the steaks accessible, and I can leave most of the ground beef in the boxes over the coming months until we use it up and need our next purchase. So hope this satisfies some curiosity of what it's like to buy half a cow. So it was easy to get the meat into the freezer. Let me show you what I've got here. First of all, here is the model of the freezer I've got in case you're interested in buying something and you're wondering what will fit. I'll put a link to that model number so you can see the square footage and so forth. I put all the ground beef in those 3 boxes. Looks like the folks who packed it probably have knowledge of how standard these freezers are because it fit exactly into the 3 shelves that I had in mind for the ground beef. Again, that's all ground beef in those 3 boxes plus ground beef for easy access in this bottom shelf. And then all the rest of the meat is some shank steaks. I've got 5 shank steaks in that pack. And then in the bottom here is all the rest. I've got my fillets and prime ribs off to the left-hand side. I've got the briskets and the New York strips off to the right. And then I've got all my roasts in the middle, baby back ribs at the bottom. That should pretty much cover all my needs for at least a few months to come, I would think. If I do wind up crossing the finish line and consuming all this, I will put a link in one of the comments to let you know how long it took me with a family of 4. My wife's a vegetarian, so she'll probably not be contributing to the consumption at a very high rate. But between my daughter's penchant for taco meat and my son for everything else, I think we're in good shape.